What's up to the Shea Butter Bitch Collective? I'm out here in sunny California. This moment, I am in Hayward, California. My girlfriend, not my partner, but like a girlfriend of mine, just moved from Sacramento up to Hayward in pursuit of a new job, new experiences, because she just finished college. And it got me thinking a lot about journeys and where we're at and how different they are. So I've never had a video where I discuss, what do I do, who I am, what I'm really trying to do with my life. And in part is because it has been, and my glasses are falling off, these big old things. I need to get them tightened up and refit to my face, but just set them right here for the moment. In part because I'm still figuring it out. And it has been very interesting to have to think very intentionally about how I describe myself to other people, and then in turn, what I really think that I am. You know, you can't describe how you see yourself. I see someone in the distance, I'm gonna look that way, like a student, so it's okay. I'm gonna just sit here, but. My name is Brooke. I am 22. I am a college dropout. I have aspirations to do some really untraditional shit. One of the things that I am very proud of about how I was raised is that my family always let me be exactly who I wanted to be. With some asterisks, I come from a Black Christian family. You know what I'm saying? Like, but in regards to me being really eccentric and strange relative to what their definitions, and really a lot of people in our respective communities' definitions of normal, I was very strange and odd, and they let me do that. They let me do all the little clubs that I wanted to join. They let me wear the strange amounts of colors that I wanted to wear at one time. Bows and bright decorative costume jewelry that young Brooke indulged in deeply. But they let me do that, and as I'm finding myself and creating the woman that I need to become, all of those parts of me that were allowed to flourish in my childhood are helping me to be able to see who I need to be right now. And that's because I don't feel shame about the things that are untraditional about me. For example, I quit my job. I'm a little terrified because I'm free falling. For the first time in my life, I don't have a structured schedule, and certainly not structured in the sense that I thought that I would have by this moment, or what my family has always expected from me, and in turn I began to expect from myself. I was not an active dreamer in my later years of my childhood, because my childhood, like many other Black girls, has been abruptly, just abruptly ended. The realities of misogynoir, which if you aren't familiar is anti-Blackness and misogyny, or the specific hatred of Black women. Misogynoir affects girls too, and often leads to Black girls having to deal with adult problems and being treated as women when they are in fact still girls. And in other words, if that doesn't hit home enough, because we use girl in a very colloquial sense in our society. What's up, girl? Heck yeah. Like, all the things. They're not just girls, they're children. And they should be able to be treated and experience that world as such. But because of that gap between childhood and premature womanhood, I'm having an identity crisis that I should be more pristine about my language. I'm having a transition in my identity. And a part of that is me allowing myself to engage in a bit of what my family, and to a certain extent myself, would consider childish like behaviors. I was gonna say antics. For some reason I struggled with that word. Y'all saw that. But I'm allowing myself to do certain things, like quit my job. And it's a very privileged position that I am in this particular moment, and I don't think I'll be in it for very long, or even in many more moments in my life, but the opportunity arose and I took it. So storybook time. My grandmother passed in 2015. She left us her home that my grandparents got built, so they owned it. And it's a beautiful home, but it wasn't something that I wanted to live in, and it wasn't right for me and my sisters to keep the house up just because it was not financially something we could handle. And we're all pretty young. We're in our own transitions, and at this time we had come to the conclusion that it would be best for us to sell the house than to let it get out of the shape that our grandparents kept it in. It's a beautiful home, it's a family home, and it meant a lot to us. And as a result of that decision, you know, we sold the house for a lot of monies, and I got 40% of that. My sisters got their percentage. And right now I'm sitting on a comfortable amount of resources. And I say resources and not money because I've had money before. But at this specific moment, I am given opportunity as opposed to simply money. Because oftentimes I've received large sums of money working at debate camps and stuff like that, and it goes to bills, and before you know it, it is all gone. But at this particular moment, I realized that the things that have been stressing me out and caused me to fail, and things that I had intended to succeed in, which is most things, obviously, I'm a champ. For example, school, was that I had too many things going on and I wasn't able to pursue what I really wanted to. And what this gave me was the opportunity to take a chance on myself, to see if I really had it in me. In true Savannah-like fashion from Waiting to Excel. Hey girl, like, took a bet on yourself. Come on, somebody. Like, but in that respect, I am, seeing who I am, seeing what I can do, and trying to trust that despite not having a clear vision or following an archetype, as I've always been instructed to do, I will be more than okay, but I will be where and who I want to be. Now, who is that and where is that? The where in terms of geography is still fluid. I think that my body needs more movement than it has been getting in the past couple of months. And I don't mean simply physical activity, but I mean as in transitioning between locations and spaces. I'm a nomad, I'm a traveler. I am a person who likes to experience being in the unknown, like having to learn everything all over again, but in a lot of ways doing it by myself. I feel the freest when I travel by myself as opposed to with a group of friends, because then it's like, oh, I'm beholden to what the group needs to do. But I recently started traveling by myself, and I've noticed that it is the most me that I am consistently and for large amounts of time when I travel by myself, because I'm not, held to others' perceptions of me. I'm with people who don't know me yet and will know me in the ways that I am very intentionally setting forth. And so in a period of my life where I am moving and flowing and growing and changing, it is really beautiful to not have the past be the thing that covers me in my interaction with beautiful people that I meet. And so that long and flowery answer is just a way of saying that the place doesn't matter so much to me as the feelings and the energy that I get while I'm there and at that time. So right now, I'm living in Detroit. Detroit is home for me and still makes sense. It is where I need to be to continue to grow for this particular moment. I've joined Black Youth Project 100's Detroit chapter, and I have a lot of work to do in learning what organizing as an adult and as a person who's been burned out will look like now. So for right now, I'm in Detroit and I'm content with that. I'm at peace with that. But in so far as who I want to be, I can't work a traditional job. And I've accepted that only very recently. And it wasn't even until well after I quit my job that I had accepted that as a truth. Because even after I quit, I was in a rush to get a very standard but social justice related kind of job, and that shit ain't for me. Like, nigga, I got tats everywhere and I'm not about to hide that shit every day. I got a fucking septum and you're not about to make me hide that shit. Like, I was trying to do this little gig at the Salvation Army. I love the thrift. Like, I don't be styling on you hoes just, from Forever 21, girl. Like, no, I be at the thrift store getting your granny shit. Like, and making it fly because that's what I do. Okay? But I wanted to get a job at the thrift store, see all the latest digs, do something I enjoy, be able to style, and, figure out what it is. Again, all of the things I was about to end that sentence with, and figure out what I really wanted to do. Every job that I looked at immediately following, and even, in the weeks after me leaving where I had been working when I came back home from school, I had been looking for places as temporary fixes to a long-standing problem or interrogation about what I needed to do with my life. I got y'all. I've always known that I am special and I am unique, and that my words are powerful. When I speak, people really be hearing me, and that's sometimes really cool, and that's sometimes really intimidating to know your own strength. But because of that, I've always thought that I could do both everything and nothing. In part, both are true. I can do everything if I actually committed to it and would not lose my confidence, get rid of my significant imposter syndrome, I could do, and I'm seeing that now as I am branching into areas that have historically been places where I've been pushed out, for example, in tech, that I am competent, as I have always believed, and I am able. But it's also impossible sometimes, because I will tell myself that nothing that I produce will ever be as good as the best that is out there. And that's not always like a specific item or person that I'm thinking about, me and whatever I can produce in comparison to. It's just this fictitious idea of another person that is just better. Like, who is my Serena, and why am I Maria, Sarah, whatever? But in reality, I could be a Serena. Right now, I am investing in myself. I'm investing in all of my passions in the way that my grandmother would if she was still here. I really have felt in her passing that she has kept giving to us so that we would always be okay. Like, I'm about to cry. Oh my God. Like, my grandmother was a very good friend of mine. She was like another mother. She taught me more about who I wanted to be and who I already was. And it's not like those two are too far off. That's another thing that she taught me. But she taught me so much about my world. And she always wanted me more than anybody else in the world. She always wanted me to be me, to explore, to try it all out, to be as eccentric, as odd as I wanted to be, because she saw so much greatness in me that for the younger girl, Brooke, was very hard to believe or to understand that that's what she was doing. And so at this particular moment in my life, the what of my career and what I plan to do, I guess, is explore. I'm about to do everything. I'm gonna do everything that they tell people that black people can't do. Black girls specifically. And y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see me travel. Y'all gonna see me writing. Y'all gonna see me telling the stories of those who have always existed on the margins. I want to be in line with, you know, folks like Zora Neale Hurston and Ntozake Shange as peers and not mentors, and take their works as real inspirations of how Carter G. Woodson would probably want a scholar like myself to behave, as not a person who is removed from my community but is doing the work that I was taught to do by that very community. Use our language, our customs, our culture to inspire my work. And I'm an artist, so I'm gonna make something beautiful. But anyways, y'all better subscribe. This was cute. Like, I wanted to give a good intro about me. And if you can rock with a little bit of the long-windedness and my dreamy stares into space while I figure out my words, parts of this will, I'm sure, get edited, but I'm here to be in community with black people across the globe, people of color across the globe, but black people in specific across the globe, and tell some beautiful stories. So welcome to, you know, the Detroit Red's journey across the world, and I hope you join me with the Shea Better Bitch Collective. Thank you.